My name is Sarah, and this is my story. When I was 20 years old, I got married. I married a man who seemed fine to everyone else. He was not a bad person, but he was not the right person for me. At first, I hoped things would be good. I wanted to have a happy family. But soon, I realized that he was not going to be a good partner. He did not really help with anything, and I was the one doing all the work. I had a job, and I was the main person who earned money for our family. I also took care of the house and did most of the things around the house. I worked hard and did everything I could. I cooked, cleaned, and made sure everything was fine at home. I wanted us to have a good life. I wanted to have children and be happy, but my husband was not doing much. He did not try to help me, even though he saw me working so hard. For 3 years, I struggled to have children. I had to take medicine, and I had to get shots that made me feel sick. The medicine made me tired. I had hot flashes, body pain, and headaches. I tried very hard to have a baby, but each month I did not get pregnant. I felt very sad every time I saw that I was not pregnant. My husband saw me feeling sad, but he did not seem to care much. He did not try to make me feel better, and he did not ask me how I was feeling. He just didn't pay attention. I talked to him about it, but he never helped or tried to support me. When we did finally have children, I thought he would change and help more. But he did not change. I was the one taking care of the children, and I was also working. I felt like I was doing everything alone. My husband spent most of his time playing on his phone. He did not pay attention to the kids. I had to make sure the kids did not disturb him, which made things even harder for me. After many years, I realized that I could not live like this anymore. I was always tired, and I felt alone. I was doing everything, and I could not rely on my husband. He was not helping me or the children, so I asked him to leave. Once he left, my life got better. I felt free, and I felt happy. I could finally breathe. I could do things my way without him around. Life became easier without him. Even after he left, I was still doing a lot on my own. I had a good job and was earning enough money. I had family who helped with my children, and I had kind neighbors. I also had a church family who helped when I needed. But even with all this help, there were still many days when I felt very tired. I had to work, then come home to my kids, who needed my attention. My 4-year-old would cry, my 10-year-old would talk about his day, my dog would bark, and my cat would want attention. Everything needed me. I felt like there was not enough of me to give to everyone. Some people asked me if I thought about dating again, but I never thought about it. I did not have time and I did not want to. I was too busy. I did not think anyone would want to date someone like me, who had kids and who was very busy with her life. I thought that dating was not for me. I was not looking for a new relationship, and I was fine on my own. But then I met someone new. He was an intern at my job. He was young and very smart. He was also kind, responsible, and hardworking. He could fix cars and he was good with his money. I liked him, but he was over 10 years younger than me, and I thought he would not be interested in someone like me. He had his whole life ahead of him, and I was already a mum with kids. I thought he would not want to spend time with me, but then one day he kissed me. I was surprised, and so was he, but from that day, we have been together. He is different from anyone I have met before. He talks to me and tells me what he is thinking. He listens to me and remembers things I say. If I tell him about my day, he cares, and he asks me more about it the next day. He does not play games or make me guess what he is thinking. He just tells me. He also handles his money well, and he is responsible. He has an excellent credit score, even though he is only 22 years old. We can talk for hours about many things. We talk about deep things like life and science. We also talk about movies, TV shows, and books. He cares about my thoughts, and he respects me. On Valentine's Day, he did not buy flowers or anything fancy. Instead, he sent me funny pictures, love notes, and kind messages all day to make me smile. This meant a lot to me. He understands what I need, and he does things that make me feel happy. One time I was very tired and went to his apartment. I fell asleep, and he went around and fixed all the doors so they would not squeak and wake me up. When I woke up, I found out that he did this so I could sleep peacefully. He also helps around the house. He cooks and cleans, and he thanks me for the things I do. When I cook, he says, "Thank you for making this dinner. It is amazing." When I help him, he says, "You are really good at this. Thank you." He is kind and respectful, and he shows his appreciation every day. One time I did something kind for him, but he was in a bad mood and did not thank me right away. After I left, he realized he was rude and called me to apologize. He owned up to his mistake right away. He said he was sorry and that he appreciated what I did for him. He is not afraid to admit when he is wrong, and he does not let me get away with anything either. If I am being silly, he tells me so. He is mature and honest, and he treats me like an equal. He has also become close to my children. One day, he came over for dinner, and my 4-year-old was being difficult. I was already very tired, and he could see that I was stressed. He offered to take my daughter and the dog outside for a little while so I could cook in peace. I almost cried with happiness. When he came back, he helped me set the table and get everything ready for dinner. He told the kids he would play with them later, but first, he had to help me clean up. He took care of everything, and I felt so relaxed. I didn't have anything to do. I was so grateful. I tell him often how much I appreciate him, and he feels a bit shy about it. He thinks he is not doing anything special, but he is. He treats me with respect, he helps me, and he is kind to my children. He does all these things because he cares. He says that this is normal, but I know it is rare. I feel very lucky to have him in my life. What surprises me the most is that he chose me. He could be with anyone, but he chose me. He could be with someone his age without kids, but he picked me. Even with my kids, my busy life, and my strong personality. I don't know how I got so lucky, but I am thankful every day. I love him, and I will do everything I can to make him happy because he makes me happy too. He is everything I didn't know I needed.